welcome to my home, affectionately known as the Trickle Down Ranch here in Suamico, Wisconsin, USA. I'm that neighbor that seems to accumulate a lot of stuff, hence the name Trickle Down Ranch. It's a little play on my view of the world. In today's world, I see a lot of people making a good living doing do-it-yourself videos, and I thought, hey, why not try and get in on that, and maybe I can supplement my income, maybe help some other people with projects they're working on. I find YouTube to be an excellent resource for when I'm working on something. If I don't have a service manual for it, or my own personal knowledge of it, or know someone that knows something, I've more than once turned to YouTube and found instructional videos. I've been struggling with how to go about actually getting started, what a motivation to do it. It's all stuff I enjoy doing. Over time, I plan to show projects I've picked up over the many years I've been here. This fall will be 24 years. And if I can help someone, great. I may also share opinions of different things, world views, things like that. Anyways, so I'm gonna get started on a project. It's fall, and I don't know how much you can tell from the background here, but I have a lot of leaf bearing trees around here, and it gets a bit of a workout trying to clean all that up. And what I did last year was I'd blow leaves into big piles, and then once I had the leaves raked up in piles, I'll take and push them with these into a spot I have out in the back. I don't take anything off site, so you know the leaves are still here for the other bugs and whatnot that tend to hibernate in them over winter. You know, different things you hear on the internet that they're good for. Not only that, the decomposing of it adds to the dirt and nutrition that other plants and things need out here. Work with. I like to use this guy right behind me, a skid steer that trickled down into my possession through a message a friend sent me at one point. He asked me if I knew anybody with an older RV that would be willing to trade for an old skid steer, and I says, hey, I can use one of those. And at the time we had just bought a different style camper, so the RV I had at the time was a 81 Itasca Class A RV, and it's time to move this one down the road and get myself a skid steer. Well, this one happens to have developed a pretty major leak in one of the lift cylinders, and it gotten to the point where leaking way more than I'm comfortable with. So I bought a seal kit for it, and we need to remove the lift cylinder from the unit, bring it in the shop, and get it fixed. So the cover for it actually works out quite nice. It's actually, I think my dad won it as a door prize somewhere. It's a cover for a four-wheeler, but it fits pretty good on this guy. It keeps the weather out of the cab of it. It's still exposed to some of the elements on beyond that, but keeps the engine bay dry and the cab dry, keeps the leaves out of it. So I'll get started here. To keep the wind from blowing it off, I keep these things on it. Kinda wish I had a cameraman here, but for now we're doing what we got. Anyways, as I said, I'm not exactly positive which one of these was leaking really bad, so I'm gonna fire this guy up. Pretty basic. This lever over here will engage and disengage the drive unit on it. Pretty basic. You just pull the choke on her, turn the key on. That clicking you hear is the fuel pump charging up. And wait till you hear that there's plenty of fuel pressure in there, and then give her a spin and she should just fire right up. I typically don't have any problems with this thing. I do have one other problem with it lately, is kind of cuts out on power. I think in another video I'll shoot and look for some spark plugs and change that, but for now I'm not sure if the camera caught that or not. I tried to get it in view. Again, being nice to have a cameraman out here, but typically I work alone. And I found out it is the left side tilt cylinder that moves the bucket, tilts the bucket up and down. So what we've got to remove that is this pin right here, and then there's another pin down at the bottom there. Anyways, down at the bottom there. Take those cotter pins out, and then there's a pin that goes through the I believe they call this the boom. That will remove that. That'll remove that, and then I just have to disconnect the hydraulic lines for it, and then we can take it off and bring it in the shop. So I'll get to removing those. Guess maybe a little kind of tape this as best I can. I'd have to go back and forth into the shop to get other tools, but I do have apparatus. I believe it's called an OBBOT that I should be able to mount to the camera at some point and have the camera follow me around. But for now we're going to do it like this. I could have been a little more prepared and figuring out exactly what I need. And of course that's not right. Of course, nothing ever wants to just jump right off. I don't really recommend using adjustable wrenches on things, but I don't have a, whatever this is, let's say a 7/8 wrench. That's what I'm using. But these have a swivel on it. You just hold the one, turn the other, and that should come off pretty easily. Try and not get dirt in here. Because all that does is heat stuff away inside and cause even more problems down the line. Well, we got, I guess, a catch pan here. Well, this shouldn't leak out a whole lot, but it is going to leak some. That I can guarantee you. I plan on reusing it. They can empty it away at a recycle center somewhere. You can usually find one in your town. Usually. I know some automotive part stores will take used fluids. They'll find a way to recycle. Just a matter of doing a little research and finding where you can get things done. Stand the lines up, they're not the lowest point. Should be able to limit how much you lose. Put that out of the way. I'll use a dirty sock. Good idea though. Not sure how good my audio is coming on here. Mom's used this camera for years for different family outings. There's a couple of YouTube videos out there of us putting the dock in at family cottage, taking it out. Oh. Ah. Anyway, that's how you get that guy out. I think we recovered some anyways. So, meet you in the shop. Little thing to point out in making sure you hook your hoses back up to where they belong. The engineers at John Deere must have had a loop the day they were setting these up, because as you notice, there's an upper and a lower line. Where they go across the bottom, they're the same as they are on that cylinder. So you don't really need to label them. I mean, you can if you want. It's always good to label things, but these are pretty straightforward. Alright, so this is the seal kit. Because this is a John Deere unit, I've found it's, unless I'm just not tech savvy enough, I can't find anything for John Deere on the internet. I'm finding that if you need parts, you have to go to a John Deere dealership. There's one, I don't know, 10 miles away, something like that, over in a town called Pulaski, Wisconsin, a place called Riester and Schnell. They are the big John Deere dealership closest to me. I think there might be another location for Riester and Schnell, but the one I go to is in Pulaski. This particular unit is an early 80s, so it's not something the parts are not something they keep on hand. And I replaced one of these a year or two ago, and I found that you will not use all of these seals. So as you're taking things apart, you just take an inventory of what you're taking out and where you took it out from, and that's what you put back in. More than likely, one that looks like this, actually it might be black in this one, but that's probably going to be my leaker. If I look real close at this, I can actually see the crack in it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's there. But that's generally your culprit, and this is a pain to get in, especially if it's cold out. It's not real cold out today, so we'll see what happens. A friend of mine around the corner is actually a forklift mechanic, and he doesn't even do these himself anymore. When I asked him for some guidance on it, he says, I'll be honest, I don't even do them. They're a pain, because the dexterity you need in your fingers to pry this little monster in it's trying. I think what we did the last time was we put this in a pot of boiling water to soften it up. So next step is to try and zoom in here, see if we can get a better picture of what I'm doing. Well, left right thing on me with cameras is always fun. To get this guy off, as you can see, there's these little grooves in this. Require what some call a spanner wrench. This will happen to have a couple. See one off the bat here. Just put this guy in there. And it jumps right off. Said no one ever. And if they did, they're lying to you. Let's see if we can come up with a persuader. Whoops. Fumble! Wonder if she's left-handed, maybe? Hopefully I'm not getting too far ahead of myself. As I said, the last time I did this was a couple years ago, and that was the first time I did one, and I had an assistant. My Dad was here helping me. That, and I might have done a little bit of YouTube research before I even started on it that day. But it's pretty straightforward. You just, like I often tell people when they ask me how I figured something out, I just start at the beginning and work my way towards the end. These are fairly simple contraption. Not much to them. It can be difficult. I'll pause this for now. Now, of course, this thing isn't being as cooperative as I'd like, but we are getting movement on it. I found that if I wedge this a certain way here and get a good hammer on this, and it'll move. So it's starting to move. That's always fun. Okay, it took a little more whacking than I'd really like to do. I'm gonna beat up my spanner wrench a little bit, but that's alright. I'm sure we'll acquire another one of these sometime the same way I acquired this one. It just, stuff kind of grows here once in a while, you know. Anyways, we are gaining on it. I did in the meantime watch another video of a gentleman doing one of these on a Kubota tractor, and what he did was a pretty good idea too, where he raised the boom up in the air, support it with something. Oftentimes these things will come with like a kickstand to hold that boom up in the air. The newer ones anyways. But otherwise a stout 2x4 or 4x4 or pipe, something. Hold that guy up in the air and put a pipe wrench on it. Which, me personally, I'd probably find a spanner wrench with a longer handle on it so you can get more leverage on it. This is a fine thread. So I was a little concerned because it didn't seem like it was actually moving away from the seal, and my fear was that it was a left-handed thread and that I was actually chewing the threads up. But now that it's starting to move, I'm getting a little more confident. So I'm gonna have to beat on it one or, oh, maybe not. Sometimes you gotta get angry at it and growl a little. Don't get me wrong, I'm a complicit supporter of free market. So yeah, I probably could pay someone to do this. But You know, people like to say the next generation don't want to do nothing. Well, you know what? I watch my generation get lazy too. I watch the generation before mine get lazy. Or maybe lazy or unfair word to say, maybe more uninspired. A lot of guys like to blame their spouse for not allowing them to have certain things. Well, if that's a huge issue, maybe, I don't know. I myself am fortunate enough that my wife fully understands that I am who I am. I can't pretend to be anybody else. I don't want to be anybody else. Have I made all the right decisions in life? I can assure you that is most definitely not the case. Something don't seem right here. Might also help that my wife and I were in our early 40s when we met. So of course we've both been around the block a time or two. And we both come to understand that there's give and take. Just like the world in general, it's a symbiotic place. There's gotta be some room. Why is this not making sense? She likes to go on her trips. I like to more of a staycation kind of guy. I get time off at work. I like hanging out at home. I've been fortunate enough or blessed enough, what have you. I have my little spot in the world that I can call home. I should really put some gloves on. You put some padding in her. Kind of like the girl in the old Northern paper towel commercials. I don't know if you remember that one. Girl playing soccer. Soccer's a pretty physical sport. Believe it or not, there's a fair amount of contact in it. Actually played for a while when I was a kid, a couple seasons, with the Green Bay Kickers. There's a reason they had shin guards. Everybody's trying to go for a ball that's right on the ground, and you're gonna meet up with somebody's foot pretty regular. It's funny the random things the guy comes up with in his head. And mine tends to run a lot. Usually I'm just talking to myself, which one could argue I'm doing that now. But I'd like to think I'm talking to you all. The reason I'm squinting is I'm looking to see what I got for battery life in my camera. It looks like I'm looking to run out of battery. May have to stop the camera and I believe my sister said there was another one. My younger sister was fortunate enough to take an early retirement. When she turns 50 next spring. She's another solstice baby, equinox, something like that. Anyhow, I've been tooling around with the idea of doing a channel for some time now, and she's on a short list of the smartest people I know. And again, fortunate or blessed, I have a family where we all trust one another as far as some things go. So I pitched the idea and asked her if she wanted to help. She's like, you know what? I might get into that too. And she talked to our brother, her older, my younger. He might start a channel too. Also, I'm really wondering about this because it really seems like it should be backing off at some point. I'm concerned. Supposed to be spinning off of this guy? I think so. So, just like many projects, sometimes the plot thickens a little. Let's see if I can get this in focus here. So, I was wondering why this wouldn't just spin off. Well, it appears this is a two-piece deal that's been taken apart before. I hit it with the brush there and found this little gap. And one of the telltale signs was that the metals were just two different colors when I started brushing on it. And you can tell by how chewed up this thing is that this seal was probably replaced once before, and they probably used a pipe wrench on this surface or a vise or something, and then either a chisel and another pipe wrench or a spanner wrench like I'm using on that one. So I'm gonna have to spend some time and clean that surface up all the way around and make sure that where the threads would travel from this guy, they're able to travel over that, over all this terrain. So, but these are some of the things. So it's probably some type of compression fitting, I'm guessing. These are just some of the things you come across, you know. I don't know if the other cylinder was like this. I can't remember. And I guess I'd have to look around on YouTube to find, see if there's another example of this. But this is a little bit of a surprise to me, but we move on. Mentioning, since I'm getting a bit aggressive on this thing, is that when you're working on old stuff like this and say you got a bargain on it or whatever, some might say, well, you're being a bit aggressive on there. What if you wreck something that you didn't want to wreck? Well, you know, if you look around, like I've mentioned before, you know, Marketplace or Craigslist or any of those, or swap meets. And there's one particular swap meet we go to once in a while that's You know, it's a few hours away and it's twice a year, but you can find a lot of different things there for a cheap price and make a good gas tank getaway of it. If you know, if you can't swing an overnight thing out of it. But I mean, oftentimes a gas tank is an affordable thing to do. You know, plus the price of a part. Take your time. Pick away at things. Think about things. It's, you know, some days it seems that life is pretty long, and I've spent a lot of time alone over the last, I don't know how many years. A lot of them. I've spent a lot of time by myself where a lot of thoughts run through your head, and pick your thoughts. I don't know. And, you know, make them constructive thoughts. Stay away from the destructive thoughts. Those get you nowhere but destruction. So I'm gonna keep plugging away at this. Not gonna get it done tonight, obviously, because there's a lot of thinking to be done on this guy. Because I'm seeing evidence that this ring has to come off this guy right here. I thought this ring would just spin out of this, but there must be more to it than that, because I've turned this enough revolutions that even with a fine thread it should have separated from the body of it. So, and it's not. So we will get this. It may take a while. Say it won't happen tonight, but just keep plugging away. You'll figure it out. Keep moving forward. Keep put one foot in front of the other, or whatever catchphrase you want to use. Life don't happen sitting still. So I've decided that this thing takes another set of hands and some more brains. I've reached out to my dad, who's just a fountain of knowledge, especially to all things mechanical. So I've got him coming over tomorrow. That's what I got for tonight. Have a good night. Well, this is day 2 on this project. Thought I'd call a little more brain power and a little extra muscle. And had Dad come over. We decided, because this appears to be a 2-piece deal, when I try to turn the one, both of them turn. So I'm going to take one of these guys and drill some holes in it to try and use this in conjunction with our spanner wrench to get a straight shot at that. Here, let's get a bigger jerk on it. Twist and pull, twist and pull.
Just enough to get.
Sometimes you just need a bigger jerk. So that's where I come in.
What do we do with our piece of cardboard? Alright.
But anyways, to be able to get a straight shot with the drill bit, we did have to cut a groove in the other end like this. And we're using this guy for a drill. Somehow we lucked out and got the right size drill bit on the first try. So I've got to shine on a dog's ass once in a while. So we're going to keep working at this.
There's the mark. There's the mark. Getting started.
You had luck the last time, let's stick with you.
You sure? Up and just that one. Just the one.
So I think this one needs to go counterclockwise to come off of this.
Well, this you would think is the right-hand thread, so it's got to go this way. The middle one. Has to come this way unless it's a left-hand thread, which we don't know. Righty.
I'm saying this.
I'm trying to say that doesn't move. We make that doesn't move. Because we moved this already and it doesn't do anything.
And it spins the whole thing. Which, when I just move this, it spins the whole thing. That's why I'm saying
We're trying to not spin the middle piece, which means if this is threaded into this,
that's what
And
I'm
it's
saying.
right-hand
Is I think
thread.
this is threaded onto this.
Everything breaks because they have lots of different plans. That's really affordable and they have to really good
it's just a
customer
matter of semantics.
Everything Breaks also includes 24-hour roadside assistance.
If
Well,
there's,
try it your way one more time. But then we're
if
gonna
there's
try
a
it the other
thread
way.
in this on its outside,
Right.
then and it's a right-hand thread, it has to go this way to come out.
Act now and coverage for your
So,
smartphone
let's
will
try that
take
first.
free. That's auto and phone protection for one low price. It's only a matter of time until something
course it
breaks,
is.
so don't wait. Call now.
And that don't seem to be moving, right? Want me to put this over?
Alright.
So you get that in and try to hold with that.
Right.
Put that on and tap it in on both ends. And I'll put that on the bench top. I'll put it on the bench top.
Okay.
Now I'll take this that direction. Alright. You hold it
Yep.
You can hold it.
Now.
And it's a funny thing. Tap them in with your punch. Get her in tight all the way in. A piece of pipe to put on this.
Yeah.
Not a 10-foot. Nope. Keep yours the other direction. Get your handle going out the other way.
Okay. This one goes down, well.
See how it shoots? I think that'll get it on the light stuff.
Trying to be easier?
Not really. It's pretty much the same. I might run into a nice spot here and there, but other than that.
They gotta make up time. They got half the day to run all their lines.
I'm hoping to find one on the hook pretty soon. Try out the pistol, see if that's the one.
As they approach their first line, Willie spies a big gator.
He's up on the bank. He ain't moved in a while. He still got mud caked up around his head.
Alright.
In the swamp,
Well, let's see if we got a clean more out of there. Something's gumming up the works. Or is she just that
Now we get to test
freaking tight?
That's good, I think. I believe she is that tight.
You just gotta watch what you're doing. You could
I
shoot.
wonder if we try and flatten this guy or straighten the teeth on it or something.
Hold on, man. I'll pull the sucker in.
Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
What is wrong with my brain?
Southern New Hampshire University.
I've been waiting for this day my whole life.
I'm not here to fix brains. Wonder all you do is
Never stop. You want to believe in yourself. It's never too late.
If you're out there and wondering if you could be an SNHU graduate, today's the day to find out.
Visit
Don't touch the tongue to the
SNHU.edu.
top.
I'm gonna have to go out.
Each part of the future with a Chase Mobile.
Makes Willie a believer. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there.
The rifle feel like old cover off or something you did.
I'm going to turn either direction, that's for sure.
And it shook. Right all at once. It just.
There's no literature on this that you could find.
I feel like old Clint Eastwood for that pistol.
Rather an affordable price. There's a book, but it's like $500.
Good, no hurry. Put it up slow. Watch it
And
now.
then we're at the point where he just pulled on the fucker with a...
Oh yeah, right. Don't pull it up too high. Take a chance of breaking that line.
Alright.
Get a shot, Jake. Take him out. Don't play with him.
Tap, tap, tap.
Yeah. Because before, when I was turning just with the holes, the whole thing's turning, and when I turn with just this, the whole thing's turning. So I don't know where
Yep.
tapping is gonna.
Well, I'm hoping to break it loose, but tap, tap. Tap, not hit hard. Come along, let's try to... If this thing turns and doesn't move out, then it's highly likely that that ring is in there, and maybe that's all you do is just what. And on the machine, there might be something that it can't hydraulically push itself out.
You know, they did all right.
You know, that what it gets,
Where
it
it
stops.
Right.
But this obviously ain't doing shit, so. What do you got to do that with?
Are in Wobbly P Road, still on the hunt for the elusive killer they call T-Rex.
Listen, one, get,
Tie it to my trailer hitch and pull it with your trailer hitch.
I'm just thinking of your bench. If we anchor one end to that end of the bench and then pull from to the other corner,
Not enough weight here.
just pull, you're compressing this welded structure here. And there a bar goes across.
Oh,
The bar goes across. If we tie it to this one and we pull it to that one, and just watch that we don't bend the legs. What do we got to pull?
Meet the traveling trio, each helping to protect their money with Chase.
You got them doing the
Tools that help
electric
protect. Alerts that help check.
Good, come on.
Brains that put you in control. Chase, make what's yours.
Ain't a come along, it's a along. Without the come,
Experience with people buying
got a no come along.
more like a bring along.
Caring for older adults like you, with a focus on keeping you healthy. So don't wait. Call today. Zion, we're ready for you.
Nobody has got a YouTube on redoing, they're replacing seals on a John Deere.
This guy takes all the notes,
Whatever.
So our doctors all eyes on me, and I'm never rushed out.
That's your problem anyway, huh? Dad's got a piece.
Yeah, too bad we didn't make one when we did this last time.
Ready to go?
When we did what last time?
We replaced one.
You did the other side?
You and I did, yes.
There's no guarantee.
But the boom, not the tilt.
Go out there and turn that and see what's, that is definitely threaded in there. I got it broke loose, we'll tighten it when we're all done. But go out there and turn it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Which means this son of a bitch should be turning and coming out.
Yes, it definitely should. It's not.
Because this is a gland holding that piece of aluminum in on that one. And the seals are in the aluminum. So why is it acting like this? What have you got here? What have you got here? Does this one come apart? Not likely, eh?
Huh?
This doesn't come apart, not likely anyway, huh? Now, if we put something in here, up to here.
Hey everybody, here with Southern Yankee Innovations, and today we're going to get the seals out in a hydraulic cylinder on a John Deere 4310 with a 130 motor. Start with the hydraulic lines on the top and bottom of the cylinder. You can see the seals there.
So that's where that steel ring
Water
is.
tool in the kit just lets that metal piece slide out.
So I was wrong. Right?
Huh?
So I was wrong?
No, that's not wrong. That, but I'm thinking that, see, they somehow or other, they're able to, that one is different in that this is in, and then there's a snap ring holding it in. You take the snap ring out, then you can push this way in, put something in that groove that the ring is caught in,
End of the
that
rod
orange
with
plastic
the vise
piece.
and use an
Where'd you
impact
go, my
screw
pieces?
to the nut. Next, we're going to have some towels or t-shirts or something laid out that you can remove and place everything on and keep it
Must be this
organized.
thing.
So you can
That this sits in the groove that that ring is in.
install them in the same
And then when you push the ring in, the ring goes over the top of this and then everything comes out.
laid out and clean.
Because it's a split piece like that, yeah. So, well, here.
Picked up these seal spoons on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. Just lets that metal piece slide out.
So I was wrong. Right?
Huh?
So I was wrong?
No, that's not wrong. That, but I'm thinking that, see, they somehow or other, they're able to, that one is different in that this is in, and then there's a snap ring holding it in. You take the snap ring out, then you can push this way in, put something in that groove that the ring is caught in,
End of the
that
rod
orange
with
plastic
the vise
piece.
and use an
Where'd you
impact
go, my
screw to
pieces?
the nut. Next, we're going to have some towels or t-shirts or something laid out that you can remove and place everything on and keep it
Must be this
organized.
thing.
So you can
That this sits in the groove that that ring is in.
install them in the same
And then when you push the ring in, the ring goes over the top of this and then everything comes out.
laid out and clean.
Because it's a split piece like that, yeah. So, well, here.
like, kind of like a wheat field.
Oh,
I'm gonna shoot you straight
Okay.
International 1086 hood. I did try to get this running last
I
night.
wonder if we can buy this.
After, I don't know, hour. I was successful, but I
Cut
can
that
only
off.
get it to idle.
Yep. Cause we know what it looks like.
Anytime you would.
It's
even
not
pull it
in there at
from
all,
the-
it's just flat.
There's zero power, zero acceleration. Can't rev it
Right.
up, anything like that.
Right.
Look at it
Positive,
again, make sure
timing's
it
out of
is.
whack. The fuel make it happen or needs a bunch of work. And most concerning, the water pump shaft is leaking profusely. All Model A should
Be the same. You can't get that nut off without taking this fucker apart. So we can't take the nut off and go anywhere with it.
Dad, can you hand me that seal kit, the bag?
Yep.
If I walk in the shop, I'm gonna lose a signal.
they're so,
Yeah, the trick is,
oh,
I probably can buy it
Alright.
elsewhere as well, but we have to have it apart to measure it, and once we get it apart, it's not gonna be measurable.
Well, what I was thinking
Water
is,
pump address, it's gotta be running well before we can do that.
Well, I'm thinking you're gonna have to just drill in this low spot,
Apparently it's like rope
and then open it up.
wax or dolphin wax or goat wax. I don't know, wax that they use.
And then you could do that low spot and this low spot and break it into
So
two.
we're gonna take off this old Zenith
maybe cut it
and, you know, ruin those gaskets that we won't be
off
able to
just like
find.
that.
And then struggle
And
trying
then
to figure
I
out
think
how
you're
to
taking
put it
more of a
back
chance of
And
boogering
maybe
this
somewhere in that
external thread.
process,
Okay.
we'll get it cleaned up enough to where we can actually.
Because once we get this off, we can machine it so that it's
They're obviously not
flush with
going
this when it's all
anywhere.
done.
Then we can address
You know,
the
we know roughly how much
water
we're sticking
pumping.
out with right to
Then I
here.
think we'll go in
And
and
machine that off to there.
might even pull the
clean up
lightning
so you
worm
can
out
get it
of
started
this.
and-
I'm told
Right.
it's-
Because apparently what it looked like on that thing is,
200 miles.
first you push it in, then you put that piece in so that you can slide this O-ring
Right.
off the steel ring, and then you pull it out, change the seals,
Kinda trip. So
and then you
700
put it back in too far.
It's up there.
You
Right.
put, no, you must put the ring in it, and just tap in until the ring pops into the groove, then you put the nut on. And this nut shouldn't be even tight, should just be on there, not doing a goddamn thing. The
Well, and
thing
that's why I
inside
was
is-
kind of thinking originally of just taking the grinder and fucking grind that down
Slide
there.
that collar up.
But
That'll disconnect that.
This'll work too.
gap. We're just gonna have these two bolts.
Well, the problem is how tight someone sometime or another
So
tightened
get
it.
this off quick with a vice
yeah, I
grip.
mean, you
If-
can
if
tell
just
somebody put
getting,
a fucking wrench on
You know,
it.
just getting the outside
Right.
flush
That's got one more bolt here.
will,
What's weird is that the fucker turns.
Slide
Huh?
it out.
What's weird is that it turns.
yeah, but this don't turn. This thing is turning, the
Well, it
whole
turns
thing,
everything together, yeah.
because all that is in there is all round pieces sitting inside of here
Right.
You know, this
with
thing's
that metal
absolutely
ring,
filthy.
and
That's
you gotta get
the issue for
this
sure.
out of the way
There's
to
three
drive
things
that
I'm gonna
bugger
be
in.
after cleaning today after we get
Right.
the actual fixture clean is the main jet, which is you take this.
Oh wow,
out
this
here,
is recording the whole time. That's fun.
That was fine. It's actually in there soaking.
Okay, so she cracked,
Plug, that's also in there soaking. That's
and now the spanner wrench is
the main
where?
jet was this cap jet here. So that is also
What we decided to do was
our issue was
we
those two jets.
tried a couple different things to make like this wait, this wrench fit on there and kind of magned up that piece of this piece of aluminum here, and that didn't work very well. Oh, now you're spinning the whole thing again. So we're gonna have to do that, do the tap tap taparoo thing again, or hold it. But anyways, we decided we're gonna cut this spanner nut off,
This $99
and
is disrupting the
I
entire
called
automotive
the
industry.
local
And big
John Deere
brands are trying their
dealership and
hardest to make it illegal in the US.
ordered a new one of those.
Spending
Of course,
$2,000 to $5,000 on professional photography.
that's gonna be another 50 bucks just for that.
Allows you to take spectacular, breathtaking photos and videos.
It's the only way we're gonna get it off. I think we're gonna have to do the tap thing because it was opening that up as we were tapping it to make it
Its
turn.
advanced GPS functionality means it can track
Bring
your
that back.
location within 3,000 feet and return to you quickly when experiencing a weak signal or when the battery is low. The collision detection function prevents
You know, the one turns and the other don't.
making this drone the safest quadcopter ever produced. It's like carrying a $2,000 high-end photography equipment in your
Bring it
pocket.
around again so that we can
Lightweight drone that is
keep
so
doing
easy to
that.
operate, anyone can use it. What's interesting about this product is that it was
There
developed
you
by
go.
two former product engineers of a well-known drone brand. One of the engineers, Robert
there you
Spencer,
go.
says the company used to have a reputation of creating
gonna stop
high-quality
right there.
products. But 2 years ago, everything changed.
More tap, tap,
Board of
tappity
directors
tap.
changed, and they started using cheap materials to cut costs.
Good,
Robert
keep going.
wanted the product as cheap as possible. And at the same time, the company kept raising the price up to the point that they charged $700 for a model that
Cutting a
cost
new thread, probably.
Right.
after marketing expenses of like $500.
Yeah, because whoever put this on,
The company didn't change their policy even after
I'm guessing it was a combination of a little too tight, and then plus
years to build the company's reputation were
the end of that aluminum getting
grabbing attitude.
mangled a bit over time.
The company and their goal was to create an affordable, quality drone that they believe everyone should have access to.
Plus the combination of using aluminum and steel
Prototypes. The Quad Air was born.
on contacting surfaces always
Nanotechnology and
creates its own
resulted in achieving the level of quality
set
and
of
quality of the top drone models, while
problems.
the price. Robert and Mark developed their own software that increases the drone's power and control by 120%, making it the most technologically advanced drone of 2023.
What do you-
Celebrities, professional
trying to get
photographers,
these in
and
there
filmmakers
again.
are already making the switch. Jessica from Atlanta went on a
here.
South African safari with her family this
Am I
summer,
right
and she
too?
had an epic trip.
I don't think
The best
so.
part about the whole trip was that she could capture precious moments with her new Quad Air. She felt like she was
Sure.
up close to all the animals and wildlife. This was especially
Hey, you
handy
just
for
bring that back around and then just do the tapper again.
If we get in
Whether you're
here,
excited about turning your social
in
media
theory,
profile to a viral sensation, or you want to
should be
capture
able to hold
precious
it back.
memories with your family, the possibilities with the Quad Air are endless. Mark and Robert want as many people as possible to know about this new technology, so they're offering 50% off on the remaining units in their warehouse. But drone companies are fighting back by trying to lobby against Quad Air to get it off the market. So we're not sure if Quad Air is able to restock anytime soon. Scan the QR on this video to get yours at 50% off now. Scan the QR code with your phone to get your Quad Air drone with 50% off. It's super.
So I guess we're gonna have to stick with the caveman tools here. Because that seems to be what wants to work.
A link will appear on your phone screen. Click on the link. This will take you to the official website.
Just like I was saying earlier on in this, where just take your time. Take a step back once in a while, think about it,
call Dad.
call Dad. Sometimes two brains are better than one. Or just one better brain is better than the other. Whatever spin you want to put on it.
Why? Because sure, your average
There, it's come off my hand now.
Like that.
as soon as you go outside,
There.
Just like that.
Now the instructions say we pound that in,
we designed a
take the little metal ring out,
wind insulation technology,
and you can take it apart.
arms and hood, plus an extended storm flap that runs the length of the
So
front
you want to
sit.
keep going today, or?
It's up to you. You gotta go to work.
Yeah, I know.
A functional hoodie you
Let's
can
do it some other.
outside.
Yeah.
You're seeing this video because we want to offer you 60% off your Bearskin hoodie today with free delivery. And you might not see this video again, so head over to snapbadhoodies.com or scan the QR code on the screen to activate the 60% off deal. Because just like you,
So, I think we're going to take a break for today.
or messenger bags.
Reconvene.
Because hey, you're not a messenger.
I got achy feet and got a
This hoodie has
12-hour shift to do. Spanning on.
On the outside.
Fun.
These super soft inner pockets too. With premium zipper, it looks incredible.
Yeah, you found it back in there.
That's never
Tap her in. Tap her.
It's called Bearskin Fleece. That's because it was handmade from real polar bears. Not really, but it's
Just for kicks.
double brush.
Just for kicks. We'll keep going.
Never wears away.
Make sure you stay on that, away from the thread.
Sleeves
Yep.
and hood. You can tailor it the way it fits you, while blocking the wind when you go outside.
So you can see the
if
groove.
you're ready, go to stopbadhoodies.com or scan the QR code on the screen with your cell phone camera to activate the 60% off deal. But hey, don't take it from us. Take it from some of our customers already wearing the bearskin hoodie. We use feedback from 50,000 men around the world to refine the design of the bearskin. Be the world's best outdoor hoodie ever made. Already sold out twice.
No, you might hit the piston, so this might have to go in with it.
Okay.
Once you place that order, we'll ship it to your door for free. Our goal is to give you the perfect hoodie. So if you're not happy with your fit, it's a super easy returns process.
Now
Now
you
that you know
can
there's
see
a
the groove,
better
huh?
alternative,
Yep,
why
there's the
not
groove.
So go to stop
So in that groove is a snap ring.
Scan the QR code.
That you're gonna use your little hooky dooky for.
60% off with free delivery. The 60% off deal only lasts a short while, so make sure you choose your size
Just how to
today.
move that.
Reserve yours. Plus, we're already
Turn to
running
that
low
edge
on
of the
stock,
table.
so scan the QR code
Might
on the
see
screen
better.
right now and get your bearskin hoodie delivered for free.
Some
Or
of
head over to stopbadhoodies.com. Choose your size and click the buy.
Some of the stuff we don't need out of the way.
So what are you waiting for? You won't regret this.
Doing seat clean, filter clean, jets cleaned out, bowl clean, also check the float, clean that up, check the pinholes, that's fine, and set that. This gasket is in really,
Now, you
really
see the
tough
ring in there?
shape. There's a couple areas
it out
where
with your
you go
hook.
in here and then
Ah.
on this back side right there, you can see it split. But I did the best that I could with what I have. It really needs a good wire brushing and soaking, but I don't have that. I got that. I got that. So, should get us on the road though, hopefully. Pop this
Like
guy
we talked
back in
about some
quick. But I think I will go ahead.
hydraulic
Take that
spoons.
cinnamon bowl off, take that out to bottles. Right
Ta-da.
here.
Just popped right out. Look at
It
there.
looks
Now
pretty
pull the whole
clean.
works out.
Down here, you never know.
Keep
What
going.
bite of that cinnamon.
There.
Gotta become
Get some
fuel
clean
tank,
surface
obviously.
to.
Hopefully we don't get a
Make sure the camera can see what you got.
or anything like that every 7 miles going down the road. I'm being optimistic. We're gonna be out of here.
So this is kind of what we mangled up. We'll have to figure out a way to clean that up. Maybe machine this end down. Fix where we kind of got carried away on that bowl there. But
all it needs is this thread on the external, so those holes shouldn't do anything.
right,
Not good.
shouldn't.
Keyword.
Coordination or so.
Ah,
We can just
now
try
you can
something
stop.
here. And these little
Want
edges
more of
run on
these?
anything. Like not burn,
And white rag is there.
mineral spirit, whatever.
You're ready
Yeah,
to
but
do
it's
this.
that's wood. That's
We don't have to worry
No.
about running high octane or nothing like that.
Bobby gets mad at me when I use them.
Crack the valve, put that
The
full
white
up
ones.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Good fuel flow. Well, we know we're good there
You know,
now.
this is a nice fixture. Because
Because
now you can set that end pin in here
Right.
and take this nut off.
Right.
I'll let that run for a second. Fill the
Yeah.
fuel on the carb, I guess. With the fuel system buttoned up, let's go ahead and address the lighting system here. Here's
That
the
did have to come off, didn't it?
on the fly.
Huh?
And
That
I
did
know
have to come off, didn't it?
set right.
Yeah.
So we could just adjust that quick and go, but I'm told that these are.
You know, I
very
imagine you could have
distributors.
hammered the hell out of it and made
They
it
need
break,
greased
but
or oiled or operate, especially at long
not like
distances.
a good
Never
thing.
been in
No.
one of these,
But
I think
anyway,
what
that-
we're gonna do is go ahead
When
and
we
take
go
this
back
all
together,
apart, pull
that
this
ring
out,
was in which groove,
and just
must be in this
figure
groove
out as we
here.
go. Isn't this neat?
right?
Two little clips here.
Well, it's right close to
Come
there.
off,
It's gotta be right in here.
come right out. Put the rotor button. Standard points,
Could have come from anywhere there.
old century
Huh.
points.
Well, I'm sure it was compressed in. Yeah, I would bet that holds that whole thing in
That's
there.
what I gotta pull to be able to lift
Yeah,
this
cause then
out.
once that's, cause that's sticking up,
After that here.
but I would have thought it was a square lip, but.
Yeah, cause you can
there's
even
your
see the
mark.
wear mark in there.
Yeah.
Looks pretty easy, actually.
And then that
This
just,
is actually
Probably from all the spinning around we did on it.
so when we go back together, you shove that all the way in,
Think about that.
And
and
then
then put
that
this in the groove, and then just bring her back
bring that
out.
back
Yeah,
up.
I don't know what
And when you get
this is what that
when you
was.
get this all
Okay.
apart,
That was it.
so this nut, once you take this nut off, this must be one piece,
Easy
then
now.
this has to be a spacer, and then this is
Yeah.
another piece.
Typical
Maybe I
this
guess that this is the
knock your
spacer.
groove, so we can
Then
line
I can
that
put
up.
this in the lathe and just
Seems pretty
machine that
straightforward.
right up to this thread.
Now, some of these shafts
Okay.
are drilled. This
And
one's
then,
not, so it's original.
You know, that ain't gonna do
But
anything.
This, screw up here.
You know, cause it's all being held on by this ring anyway. All that's doing is
Oiler.
stopping it from going that way.
Oil can or
Right, so we
something.
still got
You drop oil in
one,
there.
two,
There's
three
bearing
good threads.
shaft or
Yep.
something
Yeah,
around the
sure.
shaft
Good
down here
shape.
that needs oil continually. And they all
Worst come to worst, jam a little JB Weld in there.
Drop a few drops.
Not really, cause it don't work good with petroleum products around it.
Topping.
Tried that once in a chainsaw.
Anyway, there.
Cool.
See what we can come up with. Oh guys, I'm in it up to my eyeballs.
We just decided to wait until we got into destructive mode before it was done.
Where I need to
That's
get
how it
to,
is. You know?
right in here,
Well.
because I can see that not getting much lubrication. The problem
Cool.
is
Now get some
this old pin
off your feet time, and
needs to be punched out.
Well, have fun at
you know
work.
the trick to be
And then this would
drill this size a hole in your tabletop.
and then I can
Right.
go down
You can drop that sucker right on through.
That thought had crossed my mind.
To do that, nor do I have another pin to put back in, and I don't want these separating going down the road. That would not be good.
Although this is maybe only a one-time deal anyway, but
No, I got two more to do,
Sprayed in here.
cause they all leak. This one just leaks the worst.
As much as I
alright,
can. I see
so
it
I'm gonna
leaking
tighten
up.
that seal up.
Then I know what's
And there's no reason to tighten the hell out of it.
Everything else,
No.
I've got some sandpaper somewhere. Clean these points up, just a hair. I gotta remember how all this goes back together. The cam seems fine. It's got some wear marks on it, of course, but nothing that's gonna hurt us. I can't tell you it's been dry for a long time. This has not been lubricated
Nice and
correctly.
soft, so no
You
dirt
can
gets
see
in.
kind of that
Right.
rustish color. That's actually